Hello and thanks for watching Best Maths Tutors. I'm continuing to go through the Edexcel Foundation Tier Paper 1 from 2018, and this is question 21, which is a substitution question. So we can see we've got this formula which is v squared equals u squared plus 2as, and actually if you know anything about physics, this is an equation of motion where v represents velocity and a is acceleration and s is distance. But we don't need to know that in maths, but that's what the origin of this equation is. But what we've given is that u is equal to 12, a is equal to minus 3, and s is equal to 18. So what we have to do is we have to substitute into this equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write the bit that we don't know, which is the v squared first of all. And then I'm going to replace each one of these letters by the value that we're given. So if we've got u is equal to 12, I'm going to write that. I'm going to replace the u by the 12, put 12 squared, and then that's going to be plus 2 times by minus 3, and I like to put a little bracket around that so that we can see that that means that's a negative 3 there, and then times by the 18. So we need to then work each one of these bits out. So if we do this power bit, 12 squared means 12 times 12, which is 144. So if you didn't know that, then you could just do long multiplication for that. 12 times 12, so you've got 2 2's is 4, 2 times 1 is 2. Write the 0 below and then go on to the 1. So we can see 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1, and if we add them together we do get 144. So that's the first bit. Then what we've got to do is we've got to work out this bit here. So I'm going to do the 2 times the 3 is 6, and then we've got to times that by 18, but we can see that we've got a minus in there as well. So overall I've got a positive 2 times positive 18, which would give us positive number, but then we're going to end up with a negative answer because we're timesing it by minus 3. So first of all, 2 times 3 is 6, so that will simplify to being 6 times by 18, and we're going to need to do that using long multiplication. So 6 times 18, so 6 eighths is 48, carry the 4, 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 4 gives us 10, so write down 0, carry the 1. But not forgetting it's going to be negative because we've got a negative in there times a positive. So we're going to have plus minus 108. And then what we've got to do is we've got to say, what does a plus and a minus make next to each other? So a plus and a minus make a minus, so that's going to give us 144 minus 108, and then if we work that out, so I'll just take no chances and do that in columns. 108, so take that away. So I've got to first of all borrow from this 4, so I'm going to write a 3 there and carry the 1. So 14 take 8 gives us 6, 0 from 3 is 3, and 1 from 1 is 0, so I've just got 36. So I've got v squared equals 36, and so v is equal to the square root of 36, and because a square root can have a positive and a negative answer, we've actually got plus or minus 6, because 6 times 6 will give us 36, but also minus 6 times minus 6 would also give us 36. So we need both of these answers there. And now we're on part B, and what we've got to do is we've got to make S the subject of this formula. So what that means is when S is the subject, that means we want to get to having it as S equals something. So we need to rearrange it like that so the S is on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and take anything that I can on the other side and leave s on its own. So first thing I can do is take away u squared from both sides, and what I'll end up with is v squared minus u squared equals the 2as that we've got there. So that means 2 times a times s. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the s on its own. Because the 2a is multiplying the s, then what I could do is I can actually do the opposite to multiplying, and I can divide by 2a. So if I do that, divide by 2a there, the 2a's disappear and the s is now on its own. So I've got v squared minus u squared over 2a equals s, and because I've got s on its own, it doesn't matter which side it's on actually, so I could have had s equals that, but because the s is on its own, we've done it. So I'm going to write s equals v squared minus u squared over 2a, and that's my final answer there, because s is on its own, so it's the subject of the formula. So I hope that's been helpful to you, and if it has, please consider subscribing to our channel and liking the video. Thanks for watching.